Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Media Buff Podcast, the show about anything and everything media related. Ed here with my fellow co-host, my lovely wife Jen, Lady Hyperfocus Lane, and Master of Matitude Matt. Everybody say hello.
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 Hello. So, second week of the month, you know what that means, especially if you've been listening to our show. It's recommendations week. This is a week that we just go about recommending stuff we think you might like, whether it's old, new, movies, books, video games, what have you, whatever floats our fancy and we think you might like. So, with that being said, who wants to go first?
How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to recommend a book, but I can't remember the title. I just remember the premise. But instead of
Wow, good job.
I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. But instead of that, I'm gonna go ahead and just recommend a film. And I don't know if I recommended this yet, but it's a film that I watch almost on a regular, and it's called Ford versus Ferrari.
That's
Matt
a pretty
knows.
good movie.
Matt knows about it.
I do.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. Basically, what the movie entails is retelling of how Ford went up against Ferrari in a race called Le Mans. It's basically a 24-hour. Is it a 24-hour race or it's like a 5 day?
Something like that.
It's like a 5 day race. And basically, it talks about the story about Shelby who partnered with Ford and recruited a driver under the name Ken Miles to build a car, which is called the Ford GT, and basically use it to win in the Le Mans race against Ferrari, which at that time Ferrari had been winning literally almost every year. There was one instance where an American company did win, which was Shelby. It was the last time they ever won, and it's actually the last time Shelby actually ever raced. Because after that, I guess he couldn't do it anymore. Because though that race is an endurance race, not just for the car but for the drivers as well. Because you're sitting in the car for hours on end. The weather's constantly changing. It's night, it's day. There are no lights on the track itself, and on top of that, the only lights you have are like your car's lights and the lights you see of other cars. The only other lights you see as well are like in the pit area, and it's usually a team of three. And in this one, Ford basically was able to build a car to finally beat Ferrari with the new design of the car. Ken Miles was the one to basically win it. One particular aspect of this film, and it's actually not true, we got it. They got the information wrong. So Ken Miles was basically the one to win Le Mans. He purposely slowed down at the end of the race to make it a tie. But in that particular race, only one can win, and basically, the official says the person who drove the furthest, which was his driving partner who was behind him, was the one declared the winner. That actually was just in the movie. It's actually not 100% true. Even though they all crossed the finish line at the same time, since Le Mans had never had a tie, they purposely made that rule on the spot to give the win to his partner. But frankly, Ken didn't mind too much. Everybody says that he was robbed of the win, but Ken didn't mind too much because he just loved the whole thing. He loved the race for the race. He was a driver. He was a good driver. The man to a while held the longest holding lap record for like 5 consecutive years, I think. Sadly, Ken Miles died before he could race again in the upcoming Le Mans race due to an accident while he was test driving a new Ford GT. But Ford did go on to win 4 Le Mans races thereafter after creating the Ford GT. And here's the kicker, man. And I don't know if you knew about this. The officials in Le Mans had to change a lot of rules to hinder Ford from winning because they kept winning, and they kept winning so well that they purposely changed a bunch of rules to hinder them, whether it's making a limit of the size of the engine or how many drivers could drive, stuff like that, like the kind of fuel they could use. They
Uh,
purposely did that so Ford would not win another Le Mans after that.
but uh, but that's kind of hypocritical of them, considering the reason why Ford wanted to win so bad is because Ferrari was winning every year, and it was
Yeah.
just Ferrari, Ferrari, Ferrari until Ford, like you said, they made the GT, and that's when Shelby did partner with Ford. Shelby's like, "I'll build you an engine," and he did. They're like, "Let's." He's like, "Let's take the biggest engine we can and put it in the smallest car that we can fit it in," and that's how we
Yo.
got the Ford GT.
Yep.
That's why it
Basically.
did. That's why it did so well. It had so much horsepower,
Hmm. Yeah.
and they
At the time,
removed
yeah.
at the time, and they removed so much material off the car to make it
Hmm.
lighter because the engine itself was heavy. So they
Hmm.
had to compensate for that.
Yeah. It was like a
And,
it was like a 50 cubic liter engine. It's a massive thing. They call it the
mhm.
Beast,
Yep.
and it was capable of doing 220 at the straightaway easy. But yeah, I only just recently found out that Le Mans purposely did that because it's a European race. So
And so
it's
they
a,
didn't want
so
Americans to win it.
yeah. So Ford had done such a great job at creating the Ford GT that they purposely made all these changes. Ford since has won races at Le Mans, Ferrari as well. Other countries have won as well. Every year, they come back with a better design, better engines, better power
Mhm.
output, what have you. So it's a little more balanced now. But I guess the European officials of Le Mans got so sick and tired of Ferrari winning. I mean, sorry, Ford winning so much that they purposely changed a bunch of rules. Like they changed the size of the engine that you put in the car. They changed the size of the tires, like a lot of stuff. Almost focusing solely on what Ford had done with the Ford GT because it was such a strong vehicle at the time, and it was
Mhm.
insanely fast for its size. And like you said, man, it had a massive engine. It had a 440 block engine capable of pushing out like little over 550 pounds of force, pounds of torque. It was 20% smaller than the one in the NASCAR cars because NASCAR
Yeah.
cars are bigger, so they have bigger engines. But the
Mhm.
fact that they were take that, make it 20% smaller and cram it into the little cars, because the car ain't that big. The car
No,
sits
it's
only
not.
40 inches above the ground. So
and
you can stand over it and then kind of roll over it if you want to. It's a small car, yeah.
and it also wasn't like that. Like the way they designed it was like pretty much like the driver was sitting next to the engine or some shit.
The engine was literally right behind him, so he could feel the vibration. He could hear the engine
Yeah,
because there was no dampeners. There was no dampeners, nothing to muffle the engine.
that's right. That's how they compensated it. They put
Yeah,
the engine in the back because if
yeah,
they were to put it in the front, there'd be no way to fit the driver.
exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it was a beautifully designed car. It's actually to this day one of my favorite cars that Ford has designed. I actually collect little Hot Wheels of them. I have a couple of them in my collection so far.
I'll admit, I am a Chevy guy. I love Chevy. They've always just been the car for me or the company for me because I've owned a couple of Fords and had like catastrophic issues with them. But ever since I went to Chevy, I've never had issues like that. But I'll admit, the GT is a good looking car, and if I
Mm,
ever had the money to like Jay Leto have like a nice car collection, I would definitely have a Ford GT in
mhm.
that collection.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the few race cars that is street legal. So if you're willing to pay the astronomical amount of insurance for it, you can actually drive it in the street because it is a street legal car. Granted, I think street legal ones have a smaller engine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's capped out at a certain horsepower, but still,
Well, yeah, and also they have all kinds of modifiers for like to dampen the
yeah,
sound and
The
things like
ECE
that.
chip, yeah,
Yeah,
the ECE chip that regulates the
but
engine's output, yeah.
I mean, you can buy a track car, but you have to bring it to the track,
Yeah. Yeah, but
or the
to this
place
day,
will
that's
impound it.
yeah, to this day, the Ford GT is one of their staple cars. It's like a very famous car. They still use it for a lot of the races. It's been modified heavily, so it looks nothing like its predecessors. But that old school design that almost looks like a vet mixed with a Viper is still really nice. Like it
Mm-hmm.
has the hood scoop to bring in the air intake to keep it's solid on the ground because it's basically it uses its front hood scoop to create a downforce to give it that much more grip so it can take really, really tight corners at really, really high speeds. But I digress.
Plus, they
As you
also
can
made
tell,
the tires wider for that too.
yeah, this has a very wide, fat tires, big rear tires for the added grip, for the added speed. Um, like just one of those cars that is built to withstand abuse. Like in the movie, Ken Miles drove the hell out of it that he literally just shredded the brakes, and they had to change the entire wheelbase out so they can keep on driving. It's one of the scenes that like he even gets out of the car. It's like there's no more brakes, they're gone. It's like we need to change this out.
And
Yeah.
also, I will say for like this movie, like I've always liked Matt Damon. I've always liked Christian Bale, but and like anyone who knows who they are, they know they're good actors. They're great actors.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie really showcases their like how good of an actor they are.
Yeah.
Like, and like because their on-screen chemistry is really great.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the best I've seen in a long time, especially between like two people who are not really friends.
Yes.
But they don't hate each other. They're like frenemies, because there is one scene where there's an altercation that they get into a fight. And it's really funny because Ken's wife comes out and she just sits in the front. And then she goes like, "Do you guys want anything to drink?" And then he goes like, "Yeah, can we get some soda pop?"
Yeah.
And then they just come in and they, discuss about doing the race, because in that particular scene, Ken had gotten cut from the team because he just wasn't what they envisioned as one of their drivers, because he's a very gritty man. He's a very like salt of the earth kind of man. He doesn't really, like he doesn't exude for like Leo BB said in the film.
Yeah, but you remember when he went into the Ford showcase and talked shit about their Mustang?
I love it, man. I love that scene.
He's like, yeah, your competitor Chevy.
The Chevelle, the Chevy Chevelle
could outperform your fucking Mustang any day of the week.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great movie. Like I definitely recommend, especially if you're a car aficionado. I love movies about cars, like not when it comes to like the insane racing like Fast and the Furious, but legitimate racing like the Formula One racing, anything to do with endurance racing and technical prowess. Not a big fan of the NASCAR ones, except Cars, but that one is like
hey, Days of Thunder is a great movie. All right,
Days of Thunder is probably one of the few NASCAR race movies I like, and that's only because they over exaggerated it.
Yeah, it's true.
They over exaggerated, but it's still good.
Plus Robert Duvall. I mean,
yeah, it's Robert Duvall. Yeah, but definitely check it out. It's one of those really easy to find. I think it's on Prime now, or you can watch it on what's it called? YouTube Video now. I think you have to have the subscription to watch it, but still. Formula N. Oh yeah, freaking Talladega Nights is definitely one of my favorite racing films as well.
Well,
it has nothing to do with racing, but
no, it doesn't. I mean,
Formula N.
But I mean, Talladega Nights is probably just one of the best comedies to ever exist.
Yeah.
I am paralyzed, and I'm going to stick this knife in my leg to prove it. Bobby, don't you put that on me, Bobby, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me. Clark Michael Douglas. But yeah, definitely check it out. It stars the titular Christian Bale, like Matt said, and Matt Damon. Has a couple other people too. Punisher's in there too, Matt. He's Lee Iacocca. Right.
Yeah.
He is. John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. He's on that too. There's a lot of other like big name ones, but I forget them. But still a good movie to watch.
Isn't Patrick Wilson in it as well?
I think so, yeah.
The guy who did the Conjuring and Insidious movies.
Oh no, that's not him.
No? Or is it the other guy that looks like him?
It kind of looks like him. I know who you're talking about. He plays Leo
Luke
Beebe
something, right?
Yeah, he plays Leo Beebe. He's the kind of the a-hole in the movie.
Yeah.
Which also, by the way, was also a fabrication because Shelby and Leo Beebe went on the record to say like there was no animosity there. Like it's just for the movie. Like Ken Miles was a respected racer. Like people did say that he was a little rough around the edges, but he was a respected race car driver.
They have to spice it up somehow.
Yeah, movies. But yeah, that's my recommendation. What do you guys got? Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
So my recommendation is actually about a YouTube channel I found back in COVID days. It's called Murder Mystery and Makeup. So the host of this channel, her name is Bailey Sarian, and she basically talks about murder mysteries while doing her makeup, while doing makeup tips.
Like real life murder mystery?
Yeah, she did the
Like stuff that actually happened.
Yep.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and she's also like said like a bunch of details that I did not know about those cases.
Oh damn.
Yeah, she's done a lot of those cases. She also has another podcast called Dark History that she started back in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, Audio Boom gave her a studio and
Damn.
Yep. She's gotten to that level now.
Audio Boom, how about you give us one?
Yeah.
Nice.
So she's got a cool little like kind of nice set, like kind of Halloween kind of dark like set.
Nice.
Yeah, but she does like the dark history of birth control. She's done dark history of
There was a dark history to that. Damn.
it's very interesting.
Damn.
Well, I think birth control would inherently have a dark history because it's a drug that alters a lot of things in the body.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But did you know that it was done so they can keep I think it was Puerto Rican women sterile?
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So what? It was meant to be like a sterilizer.
Yep.
Oh damn.
I didn't know that part. I just kind of
Yeah.
figured
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
They
scary.
tested it on Puerto Rican women.
Yeesh.
That
that.
was
But I
disgusting.
mean,
That's
yeah,
horrible.
That's how that got started, by the way, because they didn't want them reproducing.
Well, I mean, if there's one group of individuals that probably reproduced a lot, it'd probably be.
It's okay.
No, but dude,
you're Latino. You can say it.
yeah,
Exactly.
we
have
the permission. We have the
yeah.
But yeah, dude, like there's a lot of stuff
We
that
have
we had.
immunity.
She's done so many episodes now, and they're like so interesting, and she tells it in a way where like she's like telling you gossip.
It's like, oh my god, guys!
Yeah, it's
And
very
he totally shot the
engaging,
guy.
Very.
He totally
like,
shot the guy. in the
Yeah,
head.
she's like, it made me laugh because she goes, oh nay 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 nay. It's like
What?
she
Why
go-
did you say that?
because it's no good, like it's no good, or she's like,
okay.
"Hey, wouldn't you think that's kind of suspicious though? Like, she just,
Kinda
Yeah, she has
sus,
funny
okay.
terms. It's pretty funny.
Okay. Oh, you watch her too, Lane?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
hilarious.
yeah, she's.
Well,
How'd you find out about her?
I was stuck inside, and then I don't know. I think some like a serial killer documentary popped up, and I watched it, and then after you watch something, it just kind of keeps recommending things.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then I just remembered like there's like one video of like hers that just kept popping up, and I just kept seeing it. And finally I was like, what is this? And I clicked on it, and I was like,
Nice.
oh man, this was great. And she like started that whole trend. It's like a whole trend
Yes.
on YouTube. Like
Ah,
everyone
okay.
jumped on that trend, and like
Yes.
it's a whole thing on there. So there's just all these girls just putting their makeup on, talking about people getting brutally murdered.
Yep.
Just
what
so
is with
not-
women and
Dude.
murder mysteries? Like,
I don't know.
Women have
Very
have an innate killer instinct that is suppressed, so stuff like that helps them get it out. Because we get our killer instinct by being physically active or just being physically aggressive with each other, whereas women, they have to consume stuff like that to let it out. I actually read that in a scientific journal that women have a larger innate killer instinct than men, which is why a good majority of women are serial killers. Like if you look into human history,
Yeah.
right.
They're-
But all the famous ones are dudes. Well,
the
maybe it's
famous
'cause
ones may be dudes,
Yes.
but apparently the ladies are the ones that are most creative about it.
well, I was gonna say that maybe the dudes are more famous because their crime is more
grotesque.
brutal.
yeah more brutal, more grotesque, and
Yeah.
like a whole lot more fucked up.
Mhm.
Where
Oh, yeah,
maybe
for
like
sure.
a lady serial serial killer is like it's like a little bit. It could
Low-key.
still be fucked up,
But it's
but
low
it's probably
key.
yeah, or it's
Yeah.
like more methodical.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's more surgical.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and they do it in a way where they'll get away with a lot more murders
Yeah.
than a guy will because nobody suspects them.
Nope. Nobody will suspect the dainty old lady
I
in
Yeah.
the
do.
story.
You're all equally a threat to me.
These
No.
heads
Well,
are
it's because
are
like
easy for
women
everyone.
like poison. They use
Yeah, they
like
use
Right.
poison.
they like poison and stuff
They
that
cut
kills you
brake
slowly
lines.
over time.
Yeah.
We do.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't just take like
Yes.
axes and beat or strangle people because we don't have the body strength to strangle people.
Well, sometimes
Or
we do.
Yeah. It's rare.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
rare.
but I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
not
Fair,
as
yeah,
common.
yeah.
Yes, it's not as common.
There was
I
one.
mean, I know
Well-
I couldn't strangle someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I got no upper body strength. Okay, like,
But
I mean, I could
Um,
probably step on you. That'd probably be better.
Yes.
Very
Well,
good, same head.
I was gonna say, well, I think like with the like whole strength aspect, I think that comes down to like how much harm are you willing to do to somebody? Because like once you make the decision to like really hurt somebody, like a serial killer does, plus they use ambush attacks. It's
Yeah.
really hard to defend against. And if you're just like a regular person minding your own business, and then someone ambushes you with the intent to like kill you or really hurt you, and you're taken by surprise, it's usually really hard to fight off because there's been like small guys that are serial killers. They take out big dudes.
Yeah.
And it's because they have made the conscious decision, they're gonna fuck that person up, and
Yeah.
then they ambush them.
I think the BTK killer was like a dude that was like 5'5". That turned out
Yeah.
to be a dude that was like 5'5".
Yeah,
But-
real small guy. And he's taking
Yeah.
out people that was like way bigger than him.
Yeah, 100 pounds heavier than him too. Yeah. I actually did see a report a while back that this lady was purposely poisoning her husband to kill him. He caught her, but by the time he caught her, the damage had been done, and he developed cancer, and he died.
Well,
But yeah,
that
it's
sucks.
crazy. Yeah, but it's just crazy. Like, what is it? Let me ask you something though. What is it that is something that drives a girl to not just consume that, but also to share it? Like, what? Like, can you ladies answer that, or can you kind of speculate? Because you would think a guy would be more into doing something like that. Like, in
Well,
my
like-
opinion.
Like what? Poisoning someone?
No, I'm talking about murder mysteries. Like, you think a dude would be more inclined to do that because
To listen to them?
no, to talk about it and to listen to them, because I've never listened to a murder mystery thing.
Well, we have horror movies, so maybe that's our thing.
True.
We like horror movies too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
know.
Yeah, Jen does too. She loves
Well,
horror movies.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like,
See, we're
aside
back to the
from
same
me,
Wait, hold on. Wait, we gotta go. Wait, we got one
Yes.
question. So let's
All
answer Ed's question, then we'll move on to Matt's question.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But what's your guys' take on that? Like, what would you say to that? How would you answer that question?
Me? Well, I can only answer for me. I don't know about,
Yeah, like,
the
what's your
general
answer?
public. Well, for me, I like things that make you think why they did it. I don't know why I like knowing why people do what they do. But that's just a thing with me.
Oh, okay. So just innate curiosity.
just
Okay.
That's mine. Like I just have any curiosity why would drive somebody to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. What about you, Lane?
For me, it's that. Another thing is my grandma watched a lot of like, my grandma was always on like, crime TV, like all those channels where it like, unsolved mysteries.
Okay.
Too. Like my parents used to watch that a
America's Most
lot.
Wanted,
That too.
like all of like those like shows that I kind of like grew up on, kind of just fueled the curiosity.
Yes.
And then when they started coming out with like documentaries about serial killers and stuff like that, not even the YouTube stuff,
Yes.
just documentaries on random cable
Yeah, news
channels
outlets did
and
that
stuff
too.
like that. Always really interesting. And then I think it's just like the pure fascination of it's always just like a man being insanely aggressive and angry towards women. And for me, I think it's like I don't know. At this point, I'm just gathering knowledge to keep myself alive in any situation that I might find myself in, because
Mm.
you don't know, like,
Yes.
watching these documentaries, it makes you be like, anybody walking down the street next to you can be a
Yes.
serial killer. And that's like a paranoid way to think of anything, but
Yes.
like that's also like real shit,
Mhm.
because
Yeah, the reality
they
of it.
don't
Oh, yeah.
look weird, they don't look
No.
scary, they don't look
Mm-mm.
creepy, they don't look
Mhm.
disformed,
No.
they just look like every other day people.
Yes.
And so like I don't know, just having knowledge of how like these people do things might
Mhm.
be able to keep myself alive if
Mhm.
God forbid I ever end up in a situation like that, knock on wood,
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's just like a few different aspects of why I personally like it.
Mhm.
Okay.
But just the morbid curiosity is probably the
Morbid
number one
curiosity.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it's the number
that's
one thing that fuels it is
Yeah.
literally just the morbid curiosity of like how like it's just I don't know, weird messed up shit is just
yes.
it's just interesting to
Appealing.
me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Nice. I like your honesty though. I
Yeah.
like your honesty. What was your question, man? What was your question?
My question is okay. Going back to like, so I know you guys, you two ladies, like horror movies, but think about how many other women aside from yourself actually like horror movies compared to men.
I think
Do
a
you
lot,
do you girls know a
honestly.
lot of girls that like horror movies? Do you know a lot of girls that like horror movies?
It's not
I
as much
mean, I
That
do, but I
as I
know
thought it would be.
weird girls, so.
yeah, but because like I in my throughout my life, it's like talking to like people and stuff like that. I have found,
Hmm.
at least in my personal experience, can't speak for everyone, but most of the time, I find that like dudes, they tend to like horror movies more than women.
I mean,
So
yeah, that's true.
that's why I said, that's why I said like dudes, we kind of have like the horror movie thing, and like
Yeah.
women,
Yeah, it's
they're
it's
like
true.
attracted to like the murder
Yeah,
mysteries type stuff.
Hmm.
I've known
So
girls that like it too, but it's not as many as you would think.
Yeah.
yeah, that same here. Like I have met, aside from you two, like other
Mhm.
chicks that did horror movies, but other than that,
Mm-hmm.
it's like for the majority, they like think you're a psychopath for enjoying something like that.
True. I've been looked weird.
Yeah.
I've looked and stuff like that.
I've met girls that go like, "Oh my god, you like horror movies?" And I'm like, I mean, is there something wrong with that? It's like, they're
And
so scary.
and then they would look at you even weirder when you laugh at certain
Yeah.
Actually,
things. So
if you folks the for the folks listening, if you ever go to a horror movie with us, and I'm including you too, Lane, even though we've never gone to see a horror movie together, there's a good chance we're gonna be laughing at it.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, they're
I
pretty funny.
Yeah.
sometimes they do. They were like, really, dude,
Mhm.
really, you fell for that,
Mm-hmm.
and they make us laugh. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, this trick in the book. Let's
um,
split up, gang.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot what movie we went to see, Matt, and we were literally the only people laughing in the theater because it was all the guys, and people were looking at us like we were psychopaths because we were laughing our asses off. Oh, I think it was that video camera movie. Um, oh my goodness, the one that got like really famous and started making
Oh, paranormal activity.
Paranormal Activity. Yeah, I
That
think it was
movie
like
sucked though.
yeah, it wasn't that good. But I remember we were laughing our asses off, and people
Mhm.
were looking at us like, "Oh my god, those guys are crazy."
Mhm. Oh yeah.
It was just we had to make something out of it. That movie sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Just, like,
Yeah.
talking.
No, plus we're too
and-
desensitized. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest, we're way
also
too desensitized.
and
Yeah.
also like a good horror movie like Saw, the first Saw, I really enjoyed it. Like that was a good horror movie.
But
Guys.
say it was scary. I didn't find it scary. I found it annoying more than
Well,
anything.
I think like the surprise twist at the end of it was really fucking good. You
I
know,
wasn't
where
surprised.
Jigsaw's
I kind of figured out it was him halfway through. I'm like, wait a minute. If this turns
But-
out to be that guy, I'm gonna be mad.
and then I just like the fact that scary movie just brought out the trust.
Yeah,
Scary movie is awesome.
but like
I will.
the thing with
Gosh.
Paranormal Activity, I first of all like it's a movie that
It's supposedly based on
replicates.
true events.
Yeah, but
Supposedly.
like
No, I don't think
like
it is. I think they
but like
debunked
fucking
that
They
it
be debunked it.
wasn't.
Okay.
yeah,
I
but
think
like
they tried to play it off like it
Okay.
was to make it
Yeah.
scarier, but it's not based off of any true events
Okay,
at
okay.
all.
but
No.
it's like those stupid fucking ghost hunter shows. Those are so
Yeah.
stupid. It's like, oh,
They
did
really
you see
are.
that?
Yeah.
That's
But
a
I like to watch them.
ghost.
They're kind of entertaining for me
It's like, oh my god, bro, there's something on my neck. There's something on my neck, bro.
because
Yeah.
the guys are funny.
Yeah. But
I just like watching like this
A-
stupid.
anytime I see something like that, I think of Ghostface from Supernatural.
same.
Mhm.
So is she still doing the show, Jen?
He is still going with that. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Man, how
He's been actually dubbed the true crime makeup genre, like the one that started. Like that's her origin.
oh wow. Good
She's
for
the
her.
original founder. Now she's called the founder of the true crime makeup
Wow.
genre.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Did she
and
give
won a
actually-
couple awards.
Does she give really good makeup tips? Like we didn't talk about that side of it either.
Yeah, actually
That's
she
true,
does
yeah.
because she doesn't do your regular kind of makeup. She's very creative with the color she uses.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she's I've just recently found out that she actually started doing the makeup thing before this. Like she was doing the YouTube specifically to do the reviews about makeup and styles and everything, but then she got into this.
Mm.
Yeah, she started it back in 2013 when she started doing the makeup stuff.
Nice.
And she was also got what is it? She was an employee of Sephora, so she has experience like Sephora.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's Urban Decay. So
Okay.
she's got experience in
There's
how
a
to do
makeup
makeup.
company
So-
called Urban Decay.
Yeah, Urban Decay.
That don't sound right.
But yeah.
now,
So she had experience.
That's
in that.
cool. That's cool.
so
Good for her.
when for these makeup tips, like
Mhm.
you as the person applying the makeup and learning from her, how well or like what experience level would you need?
To be to be able to do what she's doing.
Yes, like is it for beginners, intermediate, advanced, or expert?
I
Like-
would say like you would have to know what you're doing.
So it's
Okay.
on the
Yeah.
advanced side. Okay.
Yes, because she talks about like she doesn't like it's like she's doing the steps.
Mhm.
I'm not really doing my makeup. I tried that once to try to do it with her, but I'm like, nope, this is not for me. I just look at her like just talking about it. I'll do my makeup the way I want to do it, but I'm still listening to what she's
Okay.
saying.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then if the mood strikes me, I'll just use the color she's using, but I just apply it the way that I know how.
That's funny.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know shit about makeup, but I mean, she's doing two things at once with these YouTube videos.
I know
So-
it's kind of impressive.
Gotta talk about both. of them,
But
right?
you know that she's got the experience. She's
Mhm.
got years of experience when she's applying her makeup. Because to this day, like I didn't even know, like that I have to apply concealer and foundation and all this. Like there's so many steps to your makeup.
Wow. I was not aware of that.
And then you have to put your setting spray. So
What
on
the
your face
fuck is a
longer.
setting spray?
it's a spray that you use to
Think-
let your makeup set so
think-
it doesn't smudge.
Think of like
throughout the day.
like a sealant, Matt. A
Yeah.
sealant.
Okay, but then Maybelline, I remember or Easy Breezy Beautiful Cover Girls, they advertise like a no run mascara. Don't they already have shit like that?
It's
Or
more
is-
for the face than it is for the
Oh.
eyelashes. It's think about it when you're doing the when you're painting the gunpla and you put the
Primer?
coat, the clear coat.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay,
It's
yeah.
like a clear coat, basically.
go. Yeah, it's,
So it's like painting, but your face. God.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
it is. It takes
Yeah.
a lot of like
A lot of technique.
taking-
Yeah.
So do you use oil or water based? Like,
you can use whatever's better for your face. And you know
Hmm.
what? The tip here is if you want your makeup to look cakey or like that your face looks all cracked up, you have to do your skincare before that. You have to take
Okay.
care of your face. If you want your makeup to look good, your face needs to be clean. I mean, that should be a basic thing to know.
You would
I
think.
You would, you would think, but there's so many layers to doing your basic skincare. Like it's like, oh my god, there's more than one step than just putting soap on your face. You gotta exfoliate. You gotta use a toner. Oh my god, there's just so much
No
stuff.
wonder
That is
they take so long.
way too much work.
It is, but
Aren't
it's
you guys
worth
gonna
it
have to
for
do
your
it?
face. It's worth it if you want to take care of your face.
That's crazy.
And by the way, Korean skincare is better. Works a lot better.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've
I
heard that.
don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
My skincare is I wash my face.
Same. I take a loofah, I scrub it real hard until some of the skin falls off. So
Yeah, no, it's
that's it for me.
you gotta be able to hydrate your skin and cleanse it.
I hydrate it with the shower water.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you wanna like really moisturize and take care of your skin
Yeah.
and use like to protect it from the sun also.
You have to use mineral water and
Yeah,
whatnot.
it's a lot of steps,
Nice.
but it's worth it.
All right. All right. Why don't you go next, Matt? What do you got for us?
Okay, well, I had trouble deciding, so I'm gonna just talk about a couple of different things. Real short, like though.
Oh, okay. Like a little snippet.
All right. Yeah, but the first one would be if you are a fan of Solo Leveling, season 2 came out not too long ago. It's really good.
Didn't it win anime of the year? Like
It did. It won Best Action Anime of the Year.
okay.
Yeah, and not trying to spoil anything, but originally I thought Jinwoo, the main character, he was going to turn the villain in the second season, but the season did not take that turn like I expected. But the thing I really enjoy about it is, and everyone here can vouch that I do not like modern anime.
Yeah.
And I like older anime, and that's because like how it's done. But the thing I like about Solo Leveling, it has little to no tropes in it that you have seen come out in like the past 10 years of anime, with like the high pitched squeaky voices and like the over exaggerations and things like that. You know how like My Hero Academia, you watch that and has like every single trope shoved into the anime
Yeah.
plus tenfold.
Yeah.
Like Solo Leveling, it focuses it takes a lot of that away. Some of that stuff is still in it, but it's very minimal. But it focuses more on the storytelling and the action. So that's what I appreciate about it. It's nothing like spectacular with like the storyline or anything like that. It's easy. It's relatively easy to digest, but has some great visuals, and it's like not annoying to watch. You don't have to sit through all the annoying tropes to get something good out of it. It's also
Okay.
relatively short. It's 24 episodes all together. That's both season 1 and 2. So it's 12 episodes each.
Yeah, for an anime that's short.
Yeah, it's real short.
Yeah.
But it has great pacing and all that other stuff. So it tells the story in a real, even though it's short, it tells the story really well.
Okay.
Fucking Koreans, dude, they're coming out with bangers. It's a Korean anime. It's not Japanese. Maybe that's why it's so like nice and refreshing, you know.
Makes sense.
Oh yeah.
No, the other anime I'm going to talk about, and this is what I recommend because I started watching the remake of it, and that's Rurouni Kenshin. And here's why.
Oh yeah, dude! I told you I'll watch the remake of that. Did you watch the remake of it?
I'm watching it. I'm not done with it, but it's not bad, okay? But the original, I would say, is superior, and here's why.
I agree.
It's because in the original, especially in the first episode, the guy that's running around claiming to be the Patosai is he is running, and he's running around cutting people up in the street claiming to be the Patosai, and Kenshin's love interest when he first meet her, what's her name?
Kaoru.
Yeah, Kaoru. She's chasing after this man, and that's because he is claiming to be the Patosai, using her family's sword style to kill people.
Nice.
And so it's diminishing the it's diminishing her dojo's reputation and her family name.
Kamiya Kashin style.
Yes, which it's supposed to be like a sword style of non-violence or without killing. As what her father intended, because so many other styles specialize in killing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she bumps into Kenshin, and she's just well, she actually kind of chases after him because she sees a dude with a sword, and then it's like he shows her his sword, and it's a reverse blade, which the cutting edge is on top. It's not on the where it's supposed to be on a katana, which is the belly of the blade, right?
Yeah.
So she thinks he's just some idiot wanderer. But the interesting part about the guy is about the villain, which I forget his name. He is in the '96 anime. He was a former student that was just a bully, and so her father broke his right thumb, so he can never wield the sword again. But then he learned how to use a sword with his left hand.
Nice.
And then when Kenshin finally reveals himself as the real Batosai, he breaks the guy's left thumb so he can never use a sword in either hand, effectively ending his career as a swordsman.
Nice.
And that little bit of backstory for that villain just added more to the anime and more to the story, because like the remake, it is more faithful to the manga, and the whole reason why the guy is going around tarnishing the name of her dojo is typical bad guy stuff. Like his brother, like pretends to be an ill old man, and they want to take her dojo and buy it and like pretty much steal from her and turn it into like a gambling den or some shit. Just run of the mill villain stuff. And so and the pacing is a little bit better in the remake, but I think it's just like the nuances and the smaller details of the original is what makes it better. And also the guy that's voicing Kenshin in the new one, I'm not a fan of the voice. Because
I'm not a fan of any of the voices.
Yeah, but I think his is the most offensive, and it's because like when he's like the Wanderer Kenshin, like it's like
I think Sasuke's voice sucks too.
I haven't gotten to Sasuke yet, but
Damn.
but but yeah, it's just it's light, it's airy, which I get because he's supposed to be a peaceful wanderer, but then when he switches to like Batosai or battle mode and he gets serious, there's like a distinct switch, right? In the original, it's still his voice, but it's just more stern. But he still has that peacefulness in his voice about him, even though he's about to whoop your ass. And it's just because he's trying to change his life from being a killer to a peaceful wanderer. He really is, and you can hear that in his voice in the original one. In the remake, there's a distinct switch between the two, and that kind of goes against like his like the that kind of goes against what the character Kenshin is about, trying to find his peace, even though he was a murderer. I mean, he was a soldier fighting for a peaceful era in Japan, but he killed a lot of people to help attain that goal. And
the lack of like fluidness there is to that is what
yeah,
your gripe is. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And also like the little nuances and the details of like certain characters and stuff. Yeah, the original, like the remake, is following the manga like a lot better. Like it's being more faithful to the original source material. But if you take that away, it's the remake isn't that good, to be honest. I think what made the original so great is it still kept the original source material, but and embellish some of the stuff, like the fight scenes. They take a little bit longer, and also I love the sword sounds, the sword effects of like how embellished they were. In the remake, it sounds a little bit more realistic, but that kind of takes away from like the action, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So, do you also have a problem? Is it the pacing as well, or
No, the pacing is done a little bit better. It's a little bit
okay?
more quicker with the storytelling.
Okay.
It's because the manga wasn't very long, and
Okay.
like the original anime, it was like it was about 3 or 4 seasons, because there's like some episodes where
Okay.
like where it was like a few episodes for certain things to happen,
Like the
where
setup for
yeah, the setup, where this one they kind of pretty much just finish everything up in like an episode,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
because the manga wasn't really that long. I'm not exactly sure how many books it was, but there wasn't a whole lot to it, because they did Samurai X, which tells about his story while he was a Batosai, and then they came out, and then you have Ronin Kenshin.
There's also some live action films.
Yeah.
And that's a story for
They're not terrible, but
They were
they're
critically acclaimed, so I don't know.
well. The thing is that all right. So this is what I recommend for the live actions. Don't watch the one that follows the anime, because it kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The
I would
movies
watch.
are more akin.
No, I would watch the live action movies that are their own story,
Mm-hmm.
because it's more fun that way. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes sense because it's its own story.
Yes, it's its own
it's
stories.
it's like the one-offs of
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
one-offs.
they're one-offs,
okay.
but there's one called Kenshin, like it's called The Beginning or something like that, and
Okay.
it's a live action movie that tells the story of Ronin Kenshin, and it's like, if you're very familiar with the anime and the manga and you watch it, like you see all the flaws of like how they do things and the way they meet the people and things like that. So that's why I just say watch the ones that are their own story. There's only like 3 movies, and I think like there's like 1 or 2 that is its own story. And so the characters are who they are in a live action format, but it's not following any story. It's its own story. So therefore it's a little bit
Like
easy.
it's not following anything to do with the manga or any source material
Yeah,
you're talking about?
it's just its own story.
Yeah,
Which
it's
makes
their
it
original IPs basically.
yeah, so it's easier to watch because you can't really see the flaws.
Yeah, there's nothing to compare it to, so it's easier.
Yeah,
to
there's
digest.
nothing to
Okay.
compare it to.
Yeah, so the only thing that kills is knowing what happens in the manga and then seeing the wannabe adaptation.
Yes, which we all know that every single live action adaptation fails miserably.
Yeah, for real, especially when it comes to anime.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and then for my final thing, I would recommend is, if you haven't watched or if you haven't read The Last Ronin, which is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic run,
yeah,
read it.
Yeah,
I have it. I've been having it for a while, and I have like the first 2 issues. It's really fun to read, and
it's really
if you
sad
don't,
too.
it is, and
Like really sad.
it's also what I like, which I thought was really smart, because it's kind of obvious of who the last turtle is if you know the turtles and their personalities.
No, you can tell right away, especially in certain lines that he says, certain quotes.
I mean, it's been out a while. It's been out a while, so I'm going to spoil it for people.
Right, go for it.
It's Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And it makes the most sense. It's because, well, he was always the happy, carefree one. And for him, and for his, not only did his brothers die, but they were murdered.
Yeah. I
they
mean,
were
you can
killed.
kind of tell it in the first issue when he's monologuing
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking about how, basically he's reminiscing. We used to do this, we used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the part where he says, I can still remember us riding in the sewers together as one, as a family, as brothers.
Yeah.
That immediately told me like, okay, that's Mikey.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it
Yeah.
makes the most sense. But also, like, what I really like about it is that his dead brothers are whispering to him.
Mm-hmm.
So because like, yeah, it makes the most sense. But the way they made it interesting is by giving him PTSD.
Yeah, when he's talking to them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and having to deal with the trauma of losing his brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was kind of hoping it wasn't Mikey. I was hoping for it to be Donatello because
Actually,
that
a
would
lot of people were hoping Donnie for it to be Donnie because it makes more sense. It makes more sense.
It does, and it makes more sense in the aspect of that would be a really drastic character development for Donatello. For Raph and Mikey,
They stay the same. Yeah.
Raph would just stay the same. He'll just be 10 times more pissed off.
Yeah.
And then Mikey, like, it's kind of obvious because he's the happy-go-lucky one, and now he's turning jaded.
Yeah.
Because of the loss of his brothers. But Donatello has always been more reserved than all the other ones and always kept to himself. Mikey, yeah, he was happy-go-lucky, but he was always out there. He was an extrovert. He was out there. He was joking and things like that. So for this to happen to Michelangelo, it'll be a switch for him because he's now jaded. But he's he's gonna do something about it. He's gonna go out. He's not gonna wallow in it too much.
No.
He's not gonna wallow in it too much to where it's gonna affect him from getting his revenge.
Oh yeah.
With Donatello, I could see that. I could see this breaking Donatello and him being stuck just maybe in their home or something.
Yeah. He would be guilt ridden. He would feel bad about it. If he would blame himself basically.
Yeah.
But Mikey, he's somebody that even though he's always shown this side of him where he's, go lucky, very carefree, when the chips are down, and you see this in the shows, in the comics, when the chips have gone down, he's always stepped up when it's needed to. And there has been times where he shows that he can be as ruthless, if not more than Raph.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
But
it's definitely a good series.
Yeah, but that's why
I think it's like four issues, right?
It's like 4 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you
it's
probably
not
get it in 4, I think, because I think some of them were condensed into 1.
Yeah, but or you could just buy like the whole thing, but
the compendium
more pricey. Yeah. But that's why ultimately I was hoping for Donatello because it's been such a drastic character change for him and a drastic storyline. But it's a really good storyline, and if you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
definitely check it out. It's sad, but at the same time, it's like really good.
It's super gritty. It's real dark.
And just for the record, it doesn't have a happy ending.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But the thing I like about it too, it kind of
I cried a little bit at the end because there's something that he says, and then he basically just says like it doesn't change anything. Yeah,
but what I like about this, it kind of feels like the writers have gone back to like what
the OG one.
Yeah, the OG one because
the black and white. Yeah,
because it was a dark.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but TMNT was dark when it first came out. The only reason they got campy is because, well, it was for kids. They wanted to target for kids. The OG TMNT was dark AF. Like, there's one issue where Splinter decapitates, or I think he chops off Shredder's arm. But yeah, there's like it's dark. It's dark AF. It only got campy in like the 60s and the 70s.
Well, I think it got campy in the 80s. Like
in
when
the
the cartoon,
right.
when that original cartoon came out. Um,
Yeah, and
It's
ever
because
since
the honest was supposed to be.
then, it's kind of stuck with that. This is one of the few times they've gone back to the dark and gritty.
now there
Yeah.
are dark and gritty uh TMNT comic books that are
Mhm.
out there, but they're far and few in between,
Yeah.
and they're not as good as like the OG or this
Mhm.
one, in my opinion.
There was one movie that came out a while ago that was kind of dark and gritty as well. It's an animated one, and it retells Turtles back in time, but this time Shredder gets the win at the end, and then Casey gets sent back in time to try to fix the whole thing.
Oh,
It was
I
when they
think I
gave them
remember that one.
superpowers. It was when they gave them superpowers.
Yeah.
That was a pretty dark one, especially that opening scene because they all die in that opening scene.
Dang.
And Casey has to go back in time and fix all of it.
Oh
Yeah, Casey Jones. But
my
yeah.
God. Sounds like I need to do some reading now.
Yeah, I mean, you can find it on any comic book website nowadays. And if you don't want to buy the series, definitely a good read. Yeah. All right, Lane, what do you got for us?
Okay, I have a few different recommendations.
Straddle in, everyone.
They're recommendations because it's Pride Month, and I just wanted to go recommendations for some LGBTQ characters and storylines. Um, so one that I wanted to start with, which is an older show that I don't know if anybody ever watched, but it's called 6 Feet Under. Did you guys ever watch that?
I was not aware that was an LGBTQ show.
Well, yeah, because the son, one of the three children, he's like gay and he has a boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
And like
remember that show. It was
the
a good show.
the cool thing about it was a gay couple and it was like a biracial gay couple. So like it was
Oh,
like
okay.
ooh, hitting all the
All the
ooh
notes.
you
Hmm.
know, like
Yeah.
plus it's just the story of like a family that owns like a funeral home and
Yeah.
every
And she's
episode starts like with
somebody
somebody
dying.
dying and then that's the person that's getting worked on
Yeah.
at
I
the
was
funeral home in that
thinking of the
episode.
wrong show.
No.
I was
Sweet
thinking of
Under.
Dead Like Me. Because when you said 6 feet
No.
under, I thought
No.
I'm like, wait, isn't that the show where the girl dies and she's like supposed to become the next
She's
Grim
a Reaper.
Reaper
Yeah, she's a
or
Reaper.
some shit like that?
That's
No.
another show. Yeah, but
What?
6 Feet Under is
Yeah.
about a funeral home.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
it's about
Six
a
Feet Under
funeral home.
was an HBO, right? Or
HBO,
Yep.
yeah.
One of like a 2001 HBO.
Yeah. It
So
was
early
There you go.
HBO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Super
watched
early
it when the
HBO.
series wrapped up, and I think somebody let me borrow the whole series because they bought it. But yeah, it was a morbid show, but it was
Was it?
good. Like some of the characters that like they work on,
Yes.
like because they tell like their story, you know, how they die and all that.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it got
It's super
very intricate.
interesting. Plus it's just like the drama of like this family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the
Did they
first
own the funeral
episode, yeah, they own the funeral home, and the
Okay.
first episode starts with the dad dying.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of
So
like death
that's
at a
how it
funeral.
starts. And so his death is like the first death you see. And then so that's how they start every episode is with a different death or whatever. So he dies and then, you know, it's like left to his wife and their three children. And it's like the only one of the three children that has any interest is
David, right?
yeah, David, who's Michael C.
Yeah.
Hall,
Yeah,
who's the
it's
guy who plays
Dexter.
Dexter.
Yeah, it's Dexter.
This is the role he did before he did Dexter.
Yeah.
So when I saw him in Dexter, I was like, holy crap, because I had just watched him in 6 Feet Under, and it was like a whole like shock to see him go from like
Yes.
this character in 6 Feet Under to like Dexter. It was a shock. It was crazy.
Yeah, it also
And then
has,
the
Lauren
daughter,
Ambrose.
yeah, the
Mhm.
daughter, Lauren Ambrose, is hilarious. She's like so rebellious and like she's
Claire.
like so funny.
Yeah.
And then the mom is great, Frances
Ruth.
Conroy.
Yeah, Ruth.
Yeah,
She
she's
was
hilarious. So it's just like everybody's just so great. Like the whole cast is
Oh,
great.
wait a
The
minute.
story's
Keith.
great.
Keith was the one in the relationship, huh?
Yes.
That's who it was. I remember now.
Yeah, Keith
Was
and
he
David.
with Freddie? Was he with
David.
Freddie? Oh no, he was
No,
with
no, no.
David. Who was Freddy with?
Freddie, Freddie was the guy that did all like the embalming. He worked on all the
Yeah.
bodies for them.
I remember that.
He was also the guy. He was in the fucking Planet Terror movies too.
Yeah, he was. He was. He's the
Yeah.
little short Mexican guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
He's
that
funny.
dude.
Yeah.
So he was like the freaking embalmer. He did all the work. I just
Yeah.
remember the episode where he was explaining how like he got this chick's boobs to look so perfect, and they're like, her tits look great. What do you do? And he's like, cans of cat food. And he's like explained to me, put like cans of cat food like in her boobs to like perk her boobs up and make them. I was like, what the fuck? And he was like talking about it, like it was
Crazy,
the
yeah.
wildest fucking show. Like it was so
It was
crazy.
a tribute show. It had like an odd amount of comedy. Like,
Yeah,
it was
it's
an
just
odd
like
amount of comedy.
it's like irony and dark. It's like
Mhm.
dark humor. You know, it's so funny.
It is a bit dark humor, yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
they did
it's
kind of
dark.
make light of like some of the people that died in it, because some of them died messed up. Like there was
Yeah.
one in particular, I forgot how he dies, but they wanted to make it so they can have the casket open, and I
Mhm.
think what's his name had to basically reconstruct the guy's face.
Yeah.
Damn.
Was it the guy that fell into like it was what
think
was
he
it? It was like
fell
a
into
big
some-
vat and it had like a big spinning thing in there and it got
I
all
think it
chopped
was something
up.
like that. I think it was a wood chipper,
Some,
that he
some
falls in.
Fucking weird
but his
shit
face
like
got
that.
jacked
Yeah.
up, and the family wanted to have an open
Did-
casket. And
Mhm.
Freddie was the one who was tasked for it, and he said that he basically like Frankenstein's the whole thing, and he uses like tape, glue. He says he used his whole bag of tricks to get it done, but he got it done. Like he used a ton of makeup. Yeah,
You would have to cake.
yeah. Freddie was
makeup.
like he was really proud of his work in that show.
Yeah,
Well,
it
if
was
you gave
such a
an
good
impossible
show.
task, like what it seems like an
There was one.
impossible
There was
task.
also one episode where I forgot who goes into where he's working, and he's like just whatever, like just he has his hands in there, and then like he's like eating at the same time, and then I think he puts like the sandwich on top of the lady's chest.
No, you're talking about the Gone in 60s.
I'm gonna that's gone in 60 seconds.
Well, they have a similar scene like that where
It
the
might have
guy-
been that
the
scene.
guy that is.
Oh
working
yeah,
on the
you know what?
market.
It is that scene. It is that scene. Never mind.
Hey, babe.
Yeah,
Oh, like
yeah. Anything with a mortuary, some stuff will stand out. But Freddie did do a lot of stuff like that. Like he would play with the corpses every now and then.
Yeah,
would,
it
like-
was so
Yeah.
funny. It was just
Jeez.
such a good show. So it's a good show if you want like
Yeah, and it's
Like
on
dark humor.
It's still
HBO
on Max.
Max.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
on Max. Yeah,
it's
5
on
seasons.
Max. I think it might be on it says it's also on Netflix as well, but it's an
Oh,
HBO.
interesting.
It's an HBO show, so it's definitely gonna
Yeah.
be on Max.
and it ran for how
Um,
long?
5 seasons.
For 5?
hmm
Mhm. Yeah, back
Yeah.
when we got like full good
Hell
length,
yeah.
Okay.
good length
Mhm.
freaking like seasons.
Yeah, I get
So-
what 26 episodes per season. And if the show ran for 5 years, it was considered a successful
Syndicated.
show.
Mhm. Yeah, it was
And then-
syndicated.
But if it went past 5 years to like 8 to 10, then it was a hit. And
Yeah.
anything beyond that, it's
Yep,
Yeah.
it's a hit.
Really?
it was
But yeah,
legendary.
it's one of those shows that actually, even after it wrapped up, it was played a lot afterwards. Like
Mhm.
it made it to the Thursday night must-see TV thing,
Oh.
and
Okay.
it just got replayed not just on HBO, because I think they started playing on like
Nice.
UPN,
Yes.
and then they eventually started showing it on regular TV, not just cable.
Yeah, because I saw a lot like a lot of like promo, the promo trailers for the episodes, but I never got around to
Yeah,
watch it.
it had a pretty cool intro too. I don't really
Mhm.
remember, but I remember thinking, I'm like, man, this is trippy.
Yeah, the intro was really interesting, and then
I think it's the one with, like,
said-
It shows like the house, and then the things are going down, and then
yeah,
it has a casket and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a trippy.
Yeah.
Show. It was a trippy intro.
yeah, it was really cool. So definitely, that's one I definitely recommend if you want a weird drama around a
Yeah.
weird family, that has like a character
Plus, you
that
get to see
is
Michael
gay,
C.
yeah.
Hall when he was baby faced.
Oh,
yeah before his Dexter days because everyone just knows him as
Skinny in that
Dexter.
show. He was skinny.
Like,
in
yeah, but
He-
everybody just
he-
knows him as Dexter now. So you're just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
he was also the
aka
bad
Dexter.
guy He's the bad guy in Gamer with Gerard
Gamer, yeah.
Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
if
he's in
you
stuff,
see him
but
in 6 Feet Under, it's like night and day.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, he was funny in that one. He was funny
I
in
bet.
6 Feet Under.
Yeah, I mean, he's in stuff. We all know he's in other stuff, but like,
Like
it's just
his
that's just
conversations
what
with
everybody
Lauren.
recognizes him
Mhm.
as.
Some of the
so.
conversations he had with Lauren, like they were funny as hell because like they were brother and sister, and they were constantly bickering about something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, typical brother sister stuff.
Yes.
Because he was the only family member that like took it seriously, and he was the
Mhm.
middle child. He was the middle
Mhm.
child,
Yep.
and he just wanted to like do right by like his mom and his dad, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then it's like then he has like the older brother that didn't care about the funeral
Nate.
house at
Yeah.
all. And so
Yeah,
he comes
Nate.
back and then it's like
Mhm.
he's put in charge of it. So then David's all mad because he's been running the thing with his dad the whole time because Nate left. And then Claire's
Mhm.
just the younger one and she's just fucking off because she's like a teenager.
Wow.
I
She doesn't give
remember,
two
yeah.
shits about like
Yes.
the fact,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like she's
Typical,
just a
yeah,
teenage,
typical
yeah, like
Yeah.
typical
teenager.
teenager. So, it's just, and then the mom is like grieving her dead husband, and then she starts dating like the Russian, who is he? The Russian
Oh
neighbor
my
or something
god, I
like that,
forgot about
Nikolai or
that.
whatever.
Yeah.
And there's like that whole
Um.
scene where he's just talking about vodka and like,
Nice.
Yeah.
like, it's just so funny.
And Russia, vodka, drink you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edo Ross. Edo Ross is
Yeah.
Nikolai.
Mhm.
The guy
Yeah.
from he was in The Sopranos and I think Goldberg's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like you get a lot of people that you see in a lot of shows, but it's like them early because it's in 2001, early 2000s. So they're all
Yeah.
still like little baby face and like some of their earlier roles and like
Yeah.
stuff like
Lauren
that.
Ambrose, I think this is one of her starting roles in this one
Mm-hmm.
because she's from like 78, so I don't think she was that old then. Because yeah, she was
No.
in 2001, 78 to 2001. She was in her early 20s. But yeah, she was definitely baby faced.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then another show that I like a lot that I cannot recommend enough to people is called Pose. I don't know. Have you seen that, Jen? It's called Pose.
It sounds familiar. Is it the weekend?
Wait, is
No?
is it a show or movie about female
It's a show.
bodybuilding?
No,
Oh,
I've heard of it
that's
though.
like
I haven't
Glow.
heard of it.
You're thinking of
Sorry.
Glow. That's
Glow.
the
Okay.
glamorous
Glow's about wrestling. Yeah.
wrestling. Yeah.
Ladies of wrestling.
Pose is a show that is based off of so it's set
Model?
in the 1980s.
Really?
So it's set in the 1980s in New York, and it's
Yeah.
focuses on the
Modeling?
ballroom culture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
In the
like
80s?
in the
Yep.
late 80s,
Yes.
I wasn't aware that was
early
a thing.
90s in New York. It was like
Mhm.
underground, and it's also
Oh.
during like the AIDS pandemic too. So they
Oh.
touch on that a lot.
Wow.
It's by Ryan Murphy, who did American Horror Story.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about this show is um the cast. So not only are like all the characters in the show like are, people of color, the way that they represent like the ballroom scene is like accurate. It's really accurate to how it actually was. And the characters that are trans characters in the show
There's
are
trans.
played by
Oh, okay.
played by like trans actors are
Oh,
playing
look
the
at that.
trans characters. So that is also like really
I think I saw
perfect.
a clip about that.
Yeah.
About a girl, I think it was a trans named Angel.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. She's
Okay.
got curly hair. She's got curly
Yep.
hair.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then she was like going off on someone. I forgot about why. But it
Oh,
looked
damn.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
And so the interesting thing about the show was a lot of the characters are based off of like real life people. and real life events that took place. So
Oh,
it's super accurate, like
Mhm.
historically.
historically accurate to like everything that's going on.
Wow.
There's even there's like a whole character that works in the fucking Trump towers for Donald Trump in the
Oh,
Trump
wow.
towers, like, and everything.
Hey,
Like,
hey! This
Donald
was
Trump is,
Trump before he was known as, Trump.
yeah, this was not president. This was like in the 80s. Like,
Yeah, this is when he was.
this is only like, he's only had one or two bankruptcy, not
Yeah,
7 or
but
8 like he does now.
also
Okay.
like
This is
Yeah,
like
thinks he
with a
can find.
couple
He run a
bankruptcies
fucking
in,
country
okay?
financially.
he was like the original meme because if you guys remember, excuse me, if you guys remember Die Hard with a Vengeance, somebody said something like, "Who do you think I am, Donald Trump?" Like
He was
talk
also in
about
Home
having
Alone
money.
too.
Yeah,
He was
he
in
was
Home
Home
Alone
Alone.
too.
Yep.
So it was like
Everybody-
that. It was like that time.
Everybody forgets he helped
So
McAllister.
yeah. So it's like obviously like he's not in it, but like
Mm,
that's supposed to be like where one of the characters from the show is like working.
nice.
It's got James Vanderbeek in it from
Really?
Yes.
What?
Dawson's
Yes.
Creek.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dawson.
He's in it.
Dawson.
Dawson
Dawson,
himself
dude.
is in it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's such a good show
Wait,
and it's
what's
just
that
like
line from Jay and Silent Bob?
Uh-huh.
He's like, "Hey, did you and what's your name get it on after set?" It's like, "Yeah." Wait, you watch Dawson? He's like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh, you know what?
stupid.
I just remember that it was something to do with the character Stan.
Yeah.
And I think because she's like she's a streetwalker, right? Like the angel girl.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
something about like and the guy Stan has a wife named Patty.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Stan is Evan Peters and Patty is,
There you
is
go, Evan
Kate
Peters. That's
Mara.
what it is.
Yep.
Ben Peters.
Yes.
Yep. Evan
Why does that name
Peters.
sound familiar?
American Horror Story.
Yes,
And he was
Yep.
Quicksilver. He was
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
and he's in love with the trans. So the,
Oh,
Ah, look at
this
that.
dude, yeah.
Yes.
Look at that. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's
He was
cool.
also
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes, he
Yep.
was. Jeffrey
Yep,
Dahmer.
that
Forgot
too.
about that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look
Yeah,
at
so
that.
he's in it.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
kick-ass, or he wasn't.
Yeah, he was
kick-ass.
kick ass. Yeah.
No,
Wow.
he's not
No, no.
Kick-Ass.
No, that's not the guy. No.
No,
No, you're thinking about
That's
the other
Johnson.
Quicksilver. You're thinking about the other Quicksilver.
no. Evan Peters is in Kick-Ass. That's what I meant to say.
yeah, he's in.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think he's Kick-Ass's friend.
He is his friend.
Yeah.
He's his nerdy friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But he does replace that Quicksilver.
Yeah, he does.
Mm.
He's
And
the better Quicksilver.
He's the
anyway.
Quicksilver with the goggles.
Yeah,
He
he's a
is.
better Quicksilver anyway.
That listens
that threw
to.
everybody out the window.
Yeah.
He
I
has
like
that
this
like
scene.
really dramatic scene where he's like in the where are they in like a kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kitchen or whatever.
Does he make for a pretty girl? Like, is he good? Did they do a good job of making them look pretty?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. No, they look great. Everyone
Yes.
is good. It's such a good show. It's really informative. Like
Wow.
Yeah.
it's intense. Like there's a lot of great scenes. But there's a lot of really intense scenes.
I bet.
I've watched it at least 3 times already. The whole
Damn, the entire series? Wow.
Yeah.
When did it originally air?
So I can imagine.
2018.
Oh wow, so it's been around for a
So I
minute.
can
Mhm.
imagine the subjects they brought up. In
Yeah,
it,
I can imagine too. Yeah, some of the subjects
Yep.
they touched on.
just by the clips that I saw, like I'm like, oh, this is intense.
Yeah,
Damn.
like people are dying like of AIDS in that
Mhm.
show and
Yep.
Wow.
discrimination and
Yeah.
You see a lot of that.
all of that and
Wow.
yeah, it's just it's just like a show that's like about
It's raw.
something that happened so long ago, but it's just
Still
still so relevant.
It is still relevant, unfortunately.
Super relevant.
Because there's a lot of like hate crime.
Yes,
We learned of the
unfortunately.
guy that did the voice for What was John Redcorn?
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Redcorn, the hate crime with that one. Yeah, Jonathan Joss.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, mm,
Yeah.
it's
So
crazy. Damn,
yeah,
Lane.
I know. So it's
Lane
just really
always with the
relevant.
Lane always with the gut punches, man.
I
That's
know.
because it's her thing. Haven't you
I
noticed,
know.
Lynn?
She blows their
It is.
mind.
I know.
She's the mind blower.
So that's a good one to watch. So you can watch that on Hulu. And if you have like the Disney Plus whatever thing that gets you Hulu, you can do it on that. So that's how you watch that.
Okay.
Um, and then I finally watched season 2 of Arcane. Did you guys watch that yet?
No,
Okay.
haven't seen
Well,
the
that's
first one.
gay as fuck, obviously, right? Because it's Arcane. So, I mean, I definitely will say that like I wish that Arcane would have been split up into 3 seasons, like I think they originally planned it. And then they
Uh,
crunched it down into two because the second season definitely felt like there was a lot of shit happening
they rushed it.
that like yeah, I was like there's a lot of story for a lot of characters and it's all in this one season. And so it
Damn.
was just hard to kind of
Digest
digest and focus and then like just get the full like
experience.
understanding of
Mhm.
why they're doing what the hell they're doing.
Right.
So I can say that like I do wish that they wouldn't have just
Crammed it.
crammed it into one season and they would have been able to keep it into two to make 3 seasons in total.
Okay.
Did the show get
Um,
canceled or something, or was it just not picked
it
up for the third
just I
season?
think they just decided to end it after a second season.
Is
I
Okay.
think it
Arcane the League of Legends?
yes.
Oh,
Yes. The
okay.
League of Legends show. I never fucking
Oh,
played League of
okay.
Legends. I don't
Okay.
know anything about League of Legends. I know the characters are not connected in the game like they are in this series.
Okay.
So and I know that there's the 3 main characters of the show are from League of Legends.
Yeah.
All the other characters cannot tell you if those fuckers are in the game or not because I've never played the game. Um, but I do recognize the 3 main characters because they were already popular characters,
Okay.
and I would see a lot of people cosplay them at comic
No,
conventions
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
So
you go on
that's
IG, you
whatever,
can
yeah.
still see a lot of people
So that yeah.
Especially
So
that
that was
cosplaying.
blue hair
people
chick.
cosplay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was people cosplaying the game. This is way before the show even happened. This is just
Oh,
people
okay.
cosplaying the characters from League of Legends, the game, not the show. So that's why I
Okay.
was familiar with some of them. But there's like over 100 characters in League of Legends, I
Yeah,
think,
there's
Hmm.
a
right?
lot of
Yeah,
characters. It's insane.
fucking Jesus. There's
A
no way I
Yeah.
lot
can
of
keep.
characters.
And so for the
And
show, what did they
it's
do? Did they narrow it down to like how many?
So, so as far as I know, it's 3 main characters from the game
Mm,
are the main characters of the show. I
okay.
don't know about all of the other characters that are involved in the show if they're also in the game. I don't know. But it's like what Jinx, V, and Kate.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 blue-haired chicks and a pink-haired
Yeah.
chick.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
2 of them are sisters. The
Mm-hmm.
other 2 are girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girlfriend and the sister like don't like each other, so then there's the drama. Like
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
it's just there's like tension with everything. Like the sisters have tension because like they had a falling out. Then the girlfriend and the sister have tension because like somebody killed someone's family or what a
Oh,
someone new or
yeah.
some shit. So then there's
There's
drama
something going
there.
on, yeah. There's
You know,
drama.
so I'm trying to spoil
Family
anything where
drama,
there's like
basically.
yeah, I'm not trying to spoil anything if you guys haven't seen it.
Mhm.
But the queer storyline is really good and that's kind of like what everybody was really like gunning for, which they
Okay.
didn't disappoint. But like I guess apparently they had to like Netflix was like so the people that made the show, the original like scene that they had between the girlfriends was like too much. Like Netflix had to tone it down.
I believe that.
Because they drew like full like scissor. No, just kidding. I don't know what they did. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
maybe,
But, like,
yeah.
it was like they had to edit it
Hey,
down.
it's a streaming service. They can put whatever they want on it. No age restrictions. All right, it's not like regular primetime TV. They want to
Crunchyroll
show
would have ran it.
if they want to
like,
show
bitch,
full
you
scissoring, go
paid.
get full
Yeah.
scissoring. Okay,
Well, that's
It's your most expensive show, Netflix. Make it your most expensive show for a reason.
Crunchyroll
Give
would have had
us
it.
the titties. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
they would have showed
There's-
everything, every nook and cranny.
there
full
isn't.
control. So if you don't want kids watching this, maybe you need to set those.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, there isn't hentai on Crunchyroll, but there is ichi or ecchi anime,
Yeah,
like high school.
like super suggestive. Yeah,
Well, no, like high school DxD, where they
Yeah.
show full on titty and everything.
yeah.
No.
Right, but it's an action anime, but they don't, but they don't shy away from showing full on boob, and I think they might show some vag in there, but
They've shown brain
But
too.
no penis.
They've shown brain. There is one where for whatever reason they just keep showing the guys in the shower rooms,
Oh,
and it's all of
Yeah.
their dongs just hanging out all the time.
but that's an
Okay.
etchy anime though,
Yeah.
where they show that stuff, but there's no physical penetration or
Yeah.
anything like that.
I mean, nudity is one thing, and
Yeah,
Yeah, the physical act is hold
because I
on.
mean, who's seen a naked body? You know,
Well,
I see a naked body every day. Mine.
exactly.
all right. Well,
It got weird for Ed.
you got anything else?
Well, you
got
might
anything
like
else,
it,
Ray?
Ed, because like Ella Purnell is the voice of Jinx. And
Oh, yeah, I
she's
like her.
your
She's
girl.
funny.
She's your girl from Fallout.
Yeah, she is the girl
Mhm.
from Fallout. Yeah,
Your Fallout babe.
yeah.
So
The one who was trying to bone everyone for some reason.
Because she's never had it.
Well,
she
she was-
lived in a vault, girl. She don't know. She's a
Curiosity.
She's
kissing
like,
cousin.
I'm of age now. I could do it.
She wanted to work with somebody else's body parts besides her own.
Right? There we go.
And then she got it, and she's like, "Ooh, I like this."
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, guess what? They're trying to kill you.
And
Yeah.
then murder.
Why is everybody I'm trying to bang trying to murder me?
Bro.
Reminds me of Heavy Metal 2000. He was just trying to get laid the entire movie, and he kept almost getting killed.
You're thinking of the first heavy metal,
You are correct, sir. Yeah,
because heavy metal 2000 is about
It's
the
the girl.
chick.
yeah, it's a chick,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
You are correct.
And then a recommendation I have that like everybody can watch. Steven Universe. Have you guys watched
Oh,
Steven
yeah.
Universe?
I've
That
seen.
that show's
bit of
insane
here and
That's
popular.
there.
just fun. That's
Clips
just
for
fun.
the
I
kids.
always
I saw the
Out
movie
there.
of it, and the girl who wants to destroy him.
Mhm.
And when I saw her backstory, I was like, "Oh my goodness, dude!" The entire time he's just trying to convince her that he's not using her, and he
Yep.
generally wants her to be a friend, but her trauma has
Sure.
won't let her, and it takes the big gems, the like super diamond ladies, to convince her to go to their world so they can give her the love that she needs.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, I was like, even the song, Lane. I don't know if you've seen the movie. Like the song that she's singing,
Yeah, it's
she's
really
like,
good.
I'm the one who's always getting played, and it just like basically saying that.
And my son was like constantly playing, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
our son Jeremy has watched that
Yeah.
movie a lot of times, but he picked up on that
Yeah.
that theme.
Yeah.
It's like the mom, like they're like mean
Yep.
to her, they're not nice to her.
Yeah.
And it's like she
Yeah,
just needs
it's
a
a
friend. It's like, wow. It's
cute-
like that show's critically acclaimed, by the way. Like it has a lot of stories of like physical
love
abuse, emotional
recommending that
abuse.
one.
Yeah, like assault, assault apparently.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
wow.
show that touches on a lot of serious subjects, but they do it in a way that a child can digest it and understand it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, I like it when they put stuff like that in a film. Like, perfect example, and I think the best example for like putting a serious subject matter in a kids film and doing it right is A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
when
That's a good show.
they
I mean, that's a
talk
good movie.
about the
It is. It's a
ants,
good
and it's that
Mhm.
scene where he's like, "Oh, it's just one ant. He's puny," and he takes like
Yeah.
the brain and throws it at him. It's like, "Did that hurt?" No. And then he breaks the whole thing off. He goes, "How
And
about
kills
that?"
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
well,
kills
he
them.
crushes them, but and he
Oh, yeah.
tells everyone else, he's like, "If one stands up, then they all stand up." It's a story. It's a hard look into tyranny and how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But yeah, Steven Universe is definitely one of those shows that adults and children can enjoy.
mhm.
Almost every episode has a strong message, and some of the story arcs are pretty intense. Like Pearl herself, the crap that she's gone through. Like, because I've
Yeah.
never seen the entire show, but a lot of people have done like clips that connect the whole story behind them. But some of the crap that she went through, I was like, damn, that girl. No wonder she's so uptight. And even like characters like Amethyst,
Mm.
who's like
Mhm.
kind of laid back and a little relaxed. Some of her, like her backstory as well, is pretty insane. But
Yeah, all
it's
the
definitely
gems
one.
are. Have a
It's
lot
one
of
of those shows that
backstory.
is like, geez, this is a kid show.
That's what I said
Well,
when Jeremy
hey,
showed me that. I was like, oh,
like, yeah, it's a kid show, but it's good that they have this stuff in it because
Yeah,
if you're able to present it in a way like they do in Steven Universe, Bugs Life, whatever, you're not insulting a child's intelligence
no, you're not. Yeah,
it's true.
because like we've all seen it. There's plenty of cartoons out there where they haphazardly put these messages into a kids show
and they
or
don't know
they
how to
attempt
deliver it.
to,
Yeah,
and they don't know how to deliver it, and they dumb it down so much it's actually insulting to
yeah.
a kid.
Yes.
hmm Like, yeah, the Sweet Life on Deck was heavily guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did not like that show. But yeah, Steven Universe, it's definitely one of those critically acclaimed shows that does not, like Matt said, does not dumb things down for kids. It's very hardcore, very raw, but it almost always delivers a really good message. Whether it's accepting yourself, accepting your, like these tackle a lot of the body shaming stuff.
Yes.
Because Steven himself, he's a plumpy kid, and they've tackled that a couple times. But yeah, like emotional abuse, physical abuse, trauma, dealing with trauma, PTSD it's insane. It's a pretty intense show.
Mhm.
Kids are not accept to go through things like that.
No, yeah, and
Yeah.
I like the fact that they do it in a way where the kid not only can understand it, they can enjoy it. It's an
I
enjoyable
mean,
show.
we got like X-Men and Spider-Man back in the 90s, and like
Yeah,
X-Men is a great representation of like racism and
Oh,
how
yeah.
it's wrong. And then
yeah.
all the stuff that you see Peter Parker go through,
Mhm.
there's a lot of trauma, and like especially when he becomes the symbiote.
Venom. hmm
Mhm.
Yeah,
And like as a kid you can grasp what is happening, and
yeah.
like
You
how
understand.
like you understand that the symbiote brings out his raw emotions, and like you see how angry he really is.
Shocking!
but,
Oh, Jason to the
like,
ends of the earth.
but aside from that, you just see how angry he is, always having to deal with the Rhino and all these other villains that just don't take a hint.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's a good show, Lane. Like, it is definitely one of those that a kid will enjoy it, but it'll teach them something.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of singing in it too.
Mhm.
Like, even like the intro's pretty catchy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
We
cute little
are
show.
We are the gem.
So what is Steven Universe's power set?
He can make a shield out of his belly button, but he gets more abilities as he gets older.
Well, he's a half gem, so that's
Yeah.
the whole thing.
His
He's-
mom was a gem. His dad is he's human. His dad is
Okay.
funny because
Yeah.
like he's constantly dealing with all this crap, but he takes it with a very good attitude. He hardly ever loses his composure. And there's been times where he's like been burned, like he's physically injured and he's like bleeding out, but he'll still crack a joke, and he just
Yeah.
loves that van of his. That van of his, like he will protect that thing to the end of the year.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a cute little show.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I recommend it for people with
Mhm.
children just because it has a lot of good topics for everybody.
Yeah, children and adults alike, actually.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
if you go on Reddit, uh, and just read some of the posts for the Steven Universe, a lot of adults have gone and like, oh, this helped me with my trauma with my ex-husband, or this helped me with trauma and dealing with my body dysmorphia, stuff like that, dude. Like people, adults have watched that show and they themselves have been like, um, really good about talking about some of the things they learned from it. Yeah.
True.
But yeah, definitely a good show. Well, going off of that one, Lane, and just a bonus recommendation I have, if you like that show, you'll also like this other show called Clarence, and it's another show that my kids watch, and
Yeah.
it's so oddly catchy, and it's oddly a good, wholesome show with a kid who like refuses to let life break his spirit,
Yes.
and it's just a really funny show. It has a
Mhm.
good voice cast. Clarence is a very he's a very funny kid, very like lovable kid.
Yes.
And some of the shows, episodes
Real
that
name is Clarence.
yeah, some of the episodes they talk about, like it deals with some pretty interesting issues as
It
well, like
does.
whether it's bullying, discrimination for some reason. And even his friends, they definitely tack on all that. Like he has one friend, I forget his name, Sumo, and the
Sumo.
kid is obviously not as well off as Clarence is. They live in like a 1 bedroom house with like
Trailer park.
yeah, 15 other kids.
He's got a
And
So
lot of
trailer
siblings.
trash.
yeah, essentially.
I wouldn't say that about the
Yeah.
kid. The kid is very.
But he's a very good kid.
Yes.
Though,
He's
by the way.
yes.
And then you have his other friend, I
Okay, he's
forget his
very-
name. He's actually voiced by the character who plays in the Goldberg show. He plays Adam in the Goldberg show. He voices the character's name. He's like really uptight and is like very
Yeah.
anal about everything. Like
Yeah.
there's one particular
It's Jeff.
Jeff. There's one particular episode where Clarence like asks if he can have one of his fries, and the kid like loses it. It's insane.
Yeah,
Like
he's very
anal,
anal
yeah,
about.
very tightly wound.
Yes,
Like,
and he's got plus he has got two moms, by the way.
oh, that's right. He does have two
Mhm.
moms. Yeah, look at that, lady. We inadvertently added another one.
Oh dang, look at us. Look at
Yeah,
you.
he's got he's
Yeah, I
got two
forgot
moms.
about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. And they're super protective of him too. Like they're very,
He's the only child.
yeah, they're kind of what's that thing where they smother him? Yeah, they're very smothery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but dude, like he's very clean. He's
Mhm.
yeah, he's very.
He's a germaphobe,
Yep.
very organized. He likes really boring things like Ruth Bader
And-
Ginsburg.
Yeah. Yep. Like the justice system.
Yeah.
Like he collects like
He likes doing
collectibles.
taxes
Yeah.
and collects stamps and whatnot.
Yeah, he's got like collectibles
Yeah.
of
But-
his favorite like justice team, I guess, or something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one episode where he buys a drone and it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg, but she's a robot. And it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg bot and it's a drone.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he's like a mini adult.
Yeah, he really is. Like he can do I think he does his mom's taxes and stuff.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Why
it's-
does
it's
he
a good-
sound like Sheldon?
You know what?
He's-
In a way, he's kind of like
yeah,
Sheldon.
in a way, he's kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah, but Clarence is constantly trying to get him out of his shell,
Yeah.
be a little more adventurous,
adventurous.
and he
Mm.
succeeds at times. Like-
Yeah, at times he actually notices him actually being a kid.
Yeah, he gets him to be a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But-
it's really good. Like Clarence himself, the character, he just tries to get people to get along.
Yeah, he wants everybody, and he
Like-
sees the good in everyone.
Yes,
Like
he
even
never sees anything bad in anybody.
even a kid who everybody hates, he constantly is defending him, and
Yes.
he's being really nice to him, and he even like compliments him a lot.
Yes,
Even though when the kid is legitimately being an a-hole
Yes.
to him, like he's caught only insulting
he's
him.
always insulting him, but he doesn't think anything.
Yeah,
of it.
everything rolls off his
Like it
back.
just,
Yeah.
yep. And like he's got well, his mom is a single mom, and she's got a boyfriend.
Hmm.
That's also kind of a sweet guy.
He kind of reminds me of the dad of Steven, by
Yeah.
the way. Like them two would be friends.
Yes,
It's like
And
Gumball's
he's-
dad too.
he's
Yes, He is kind of like a buzzer. Yeah.
That demeanor, like
Them
very
three would
aloof.
make a really good pair, like a group of friends. They should make a
It's
show with
the-
them three.
It's the generic, like, goofy, happy-go-lucky
Yes.
Cartoon Network dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That, like, Cartoon Network just, like, has, like, a kind of, like, checklist of how their dad
Yeah.
characters
Yes.
are.
Like they're a little
Just
hands off.
always
They're
like
not very
that.
strict.
They're
They're
kind
very
of
aloof.
goofy. They're your
Yes.
Yeah.
bud. Hey,
Yeah,
bud.
basically,
There
yeah.
you go.
Thumb gun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
just yeah, all of that. It's super funny. I'm just like staring at this picture of like Happy Father's Day, and it's all like the Cartoon Network dads, and then,
Aw.
like it's the same character just drawn differently every
Differently.
time.
Yep.
Literally.
It's literally the
But
same
it works.
character.
I think
it
the only
Hilarious.
the Cartoon Network dad that stands out is Dexter's dad, because he's the only thin, strict one. Like he's very stern, very strict, but he himself can be a bit of a goof sometimes, though.
That
But-
is so funny.
And another thing about like the Clarence character, like there's literally an episode where you see him get up really, really early, like
Mm.
5 a.m. and he does all these things for his mom.
Yeah,
Like gets everything like
he gets her
picked up,
coffee ready.
the trash is out.
Mhm.
Like he does that every day.
And one thing that I like that he does, the boyfriend, he whispers words of affirmation in him. He's like,
yeah,
"You are going to have a great day. You're gonna be very successful in things you do, and
yeah,
you're gonna want to buy Clarence some snacks."
yep.
Because he's still a kid at the
Yeah.
at the end of the day, but he's a
But
very
yeah.
good kid. Yeah, it's definitely one of those shows that I would recommend to watch, even if you don't have kids. It'll make you laugh. There's a
Yeah.
lot of funny episodes.
There is a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, bonus recommendation out of the blue right there.
That's so
Hey, I
funny.
had one. I had one after all.
Well, I might have a bonus recommendation. Because I just brought it up, it made me think. And I've watched the whole entire show, and it is Young Sheldon. And it is
Oh yeah.
leaps and bounds better than Big Bang Theory. There's
Yeah.
no laughing track. So they actually
No.
have to write the jokes and have them be good.
And they
Because-
got to be funny. Yeah,
And they
gotta
have to be
legit
funny. But also, George, Sheldon's dad.
Yeah, they did a great job casting him.
Yeah, and like I think he like for like as far as like TV dads, like good TV dads out there,
Mhm.
he stands next to Red Foreman.
Yeah, next to Roseanne's husband. Them.
Yeah,
as well.
Dan.
Dan. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and like because there's that whole thing of like great TV dads that teach their kids and they
Mhm.
like support their family and all that stuff, and dealing with a lot of hardships of their own.
Yes,
Yes.
I like that they show a lot of the things that he himself had to struggle with, but kept it
Mhm.
in the dark in it for the good of his family.
Yes,
I love the fact that at the end of the series when he dies, spoiler alert,
yeah. Spoiler.
Sheldon-
It's a
How
really
dare
sad
they.
ending,
dude,
It's a-
I almost cried because I was like, oh my goodness.
I teared up a little bit because I like with George, you can't help but love the man.
Yeah,
like he's
a very
he's a
lovable
great. He's not the best.
no, far
Like
from it, but he definitely
it-
tries,
he
Yes.
tries his hardest, and there was even like a situation,
especially with
like-
Missy. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, with his daughter. Yes.
he loved
Oh.
Missy to death.
But even like with there's like a small situation. He doesn't cheat on Mary, but he and his neighbor, the lady,
Yes.
that
I
it was considered, but nothing ever happened.
Exactly. yeah.
And
No,
so
I'm just glad that they didn't.
me
They played
me
it off
t-
in a different way.
yeah, me
because
too.
if you watch the Big Bang Theory, part of the reason why Sheldon has the three knock rule is because he technically caught his dad cheating on his mom, but it turns out what they did in Sheldon,
Except Mary.
Mary
was wearing
wore
a
a wig.
wig. Like
yeah,
trying to spice up the marriage.
so they played it off as that, which is cool because I like
Yes.
it because I would hate for his character
Yeah.
to get marked, especially when they built him up so well.
yeah.
Did
Uh,
and I like the character a lot. That like I'm like, oh my god, but he's gonna cheat, and also like I was panicking as to how they were gonna
Yeah,
do this. But I'm glad that they went the route that they went.
yeah,
I think a lot of people were because and I think that was a good showcase of someone not being perfect
Mhm.
but also at the end of the day making
Doing
the
the
right
right thing.
decision.
Mhm.
Yes,
Exactly.
And
Yes.
for the record, Mary almost cheated as well. Just so everybody's
she did
aware.
with
Yeah,
like
with the
youth
pastor.
pastor
With the
Rob.
past,
Mhm.
with the youth pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So-
there's like, I mean, there wasn't any infidelity, but it kind of came close. But also, their marriage wasn't the best.
No, yeah,
And-
they did have a rocky
and-
marriage.
But that's why I think,
But
like,
that's reality.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a
Yeah.
reality. Yeah.
but that's why I
No
think the
marriage is
show Young Sheldon is. I don't know. Like it's a shorter series. It's only like
It
what
is, yeah.
6 or 7 seasons.
7 seasons. 7 seasons.
Where Big Bang Theory got like 10 or 15, and this was a much superior show.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
And like because
I
like
really
everything
enjoyed it.
that happens in the Big Bang Theory, there is like no real consequence.
Not just that, there's really no like actual legitimate.
Character
Timeline.
development.
What the
No,
hell
there's
was that
pl-
show about anyway?
There's plenty of character
just a group of
development, but the
friends?
timeline just kind of makes no sense if you kind of really think about it
Yeah.
and really look into it.
It is that
But-
shit.
But either way,
Uh,
yeah, that's a good bonus one too, Matt. Yeah. So
It just I like comedies where it shows like real world problems and real world issues.
Yeah.
And they do
real
like
world
just
struggles. Yeah.
yeah, but even though it's a comedy and you get a laugh out of it, but there's just some serious moments where there is no laugh.
Yeah. 100%.
But you still are able to take something away from the episode.
Oh yeah.
Matt, if you like that,
Bowie.
you're gonna like my recommendation.
Stop it.
She's got another bonus.
Yeah, the spin-off to that is the George and Mandy.
Yeah.
First Marriage.
Oh
That
yeah,
was actually a surprisingly
It's
good
actually
show.
pretty good, dude.
it is.
Especially
Okay.
because showing Georgie
Yeah.
how he gets his tire empire
Yeah.
going.
Mhm.
Great show.
Yes,
But-
it is. I really enjoyed his character in this. Like, just it shows a lot of growth.
Mhm.
For Georgie, yeah.
Oh yeah, yep. I liked his character.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites.
Plus,
Yeah.
Mandy's dad becoming kind of a pseudo father figure to him. And
Yeah.
there's even one scene where he kind of like without realizing, Georgie kind of hugs him like if it was his dad.
Hmm.
Dude, like Mandy's dad and George Senior, they were trying to make the best of a not so great situation,
Yeah,
and they were pretty much friends from the start.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Because both of their
but
kids were
the-
idiots.
wives were at each other's throat. They're like,
Oh, they
well,
still are. Even in this show, in the George and Mandy show, Georgie's mom and then Mandy's mom, they go at it all the time,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
episode, dude.
But I just like how like George is like, hey, you want a beer? He's like, yeah, and he's like, and it like Mandy's mom calls for him. He's like, rain check on that beer. You got it, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
And
another one.
It's played by Will Sasso.
Yeah,
So
Will Sasso was
he's-
hilarious,
He was
dude.
really good.
I love them in Matt TV.
The other character was really good. Was what was the name of Mandy's brother? He was really good character too.
Oh my god, I forgot his name. Seth?
Yeah,
Is it
Seth.
Seth?
Yeah.
Seth, yeah.
I've seen
He-
clips.
He was oddly
the
he
show.
was an oddly good character. Like they kind of don't use him too much in the beginning, but then they flesh him out at
Mhm.
the end of the series. But it's still a pretty good show to check out.
Yes.
But let's that's gonna have Connor,
was his
sorry,
name.
thank you.
Connor.
Mm.
that's gonna do it for this episode, folks. It ran a little longer than we thought, but we hope you check them out. Let us know in the comments if you do end up checking them out, anything you like. If you have any recommendations for us, please let us know. We definitely like checking out new stuff, movies, shows, video games, books, what have you. As always, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, please remember leave a like, subscribe, comment below. Spotify, same thing. You can always reach us at the Media Buff Podcast on Instagram. We promise we will answer any messages you may have, recommendations, comments, concerns. Doesn't matter. We'll always be open to any suggestions. And as always, make sure you check out Maoto because they are the product we use for recording our shows. We really do stand by them. This isn't like
Learning on last fumes, people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am. I definitely am. Yeah, but definitely check them out, and you can use code word MediaBuff, get 10% off your first purchase. They do have a Father's Day sale going on. You can always use the code STACK on top of that. So make sure you check them out.
Yeah,
So
get Papa some new gear.
yeah, I like how it's kind of low key turned into a Father's Day episode.
You did.
Yeah.
It hit all the topics. You know, it's like
Had to. It was
you know,
meant to be.
Pride Month and Father's Day. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. All right,
Point.
everybody said bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.